Good, good. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the third annual. This should be 4, but last year we didn't get a chance to do this. So this is the third annual Woodward Granger All Activity Celebration. I am Matt Eichhorn, and I'm the proud activities director for the district. What a year. That's about all I can say about that. To say this was the most challenging year of my career would be an understatement. From the pandemic with ever-changing guidelines and mitigations, as we've seen today with state track opening up, which is awesome. Anybody gets to go now, but up until 2 days ago, it was limited and sending out codes and all of that, and it's just ever-changing. So trying to get you that information was something that was tough, but we got through it. We had a storm that moved our bleachers onto our track. I don't even know what to say about that, but that was fun getting it back and moving things with little pipes, and it was an amazing adventure. I'll say that. It took down trees, it leveled our community, but we came together. And then to the terrible tragedy right here in our parking lot. You know, this year tested my faith, my willpower, my strength, and my why. Why is it I do what I do? That I look out in this room and I see these young adults, and the answer is very clear. Thank you, students, for getting it and dealing with everything that was thrown at you the past year and a half. For wearing masks, for socially distancing, for working hard so that we could be in school and have our activities. The only event this past school year that was truly affected was our volleyball tournament. In the midst of the spike we had in October, we had to cancel the Norm McCune invite. It was not fun making that decision and having to talk with Coach Polish and the girls, but it allowed us that next week to be able to play in the playoffs. You kids were truly terrific this year, and I thank you. So, round of applause. Thank you, parents, for helping us get through what we needed to do. It wasn't always easy telling you or other family members that you couldn't come to games or attend events. Trust me, it was the last thing that I wanted to do. The end goal was for kids to be in school and participate, and boy, did we ever do that. I'm so proud of the school and our district for what we were able to do this past year. Thank you to the administration, especially Dr. Adams and Mr. Boley, for your support. Thanks also goes to the school board for the work they did and will continue to do for our district. It is much appreciated. Thank you to our coaches. You kept me sane for the most part this year. I know I was a pain with emails and changes, but you all took it in stride and never complained. Complained very little. I love our staff, and I'm excited for the future. Thank you to Jody Jameson and the members of the Booster Club for the desserts and sponsoring tonight's event. It was a great way to start the evening. This past year at the high school, we had 258 students in total, and 187 of them were involved in one or more activities. That equates to 73% of the high school student body being involved in at least one activity, with 57% of those individuals participating in multiple activities. Those are such awesome stats, and I like talking about that every year. I'm a huge believer in student involvement and activities, and I'm even a bigger advocate for students participating in as many activities as possible while they're in school. There's a quote by Art Williams that hangs in my office that I strive to live by, which says this: "I'm not telling you it's going to be easy. I'm telling you it's going to be worth it. The hard work you put in now in all aspects of your life, school, activities, socially, work, will benefit you in the future." There's 3 seniors I want to recognize real quick. So when I say your name, please stand up. The first one is Maggie Halferty. Maggie is involved in 13 different activities. Football cheer, basketball cheer, dance, show choir, chamber choir, jazz choir, marching band, jazz band, concert band, fall play, spring play, speech, and flags. You are awesome. And the other two, Olivia Suss. Olivia is involved in 10 activities, and Chris Kammerer, who is involved in 9 activities. Thank you for your hard work and dedication to Woodward Granger activities. I truly appreciate it. I know we have a lot of older multi-athlete students and all that stuff, and truly appreciate it and appreciate our coaches working with them, doing what they want to do and making it work, so I appreciate that. Overall, I believe we had a very successful year. I will allow each coach or sponsor to brag about their own kids and not give anything away, but we had numerous all-conference, all-district, all-state, all-academic kids in their respective activities. I'm really excited for the night and to hear from each of them. So let's get the night rolling. Each coach or sponsor will pop up on stage to talk about their respective season. I gave them a 3 to 5 minute time limit. I might have to punch the clock on a few of them. Dave? The first one I'm going to start off and read is our dance team, as Coach Schumacher is out on maternity leave. So she said she was going to watch tonight, so everybody turn and wave. So this is the dance team. This year was an unusual year with COVID guidelines, changing a lot of things. Teams could not do kick routines, and there could be no partner work in any dances. All formations had to have dancers spaced 6 feet apart, which was an extra challenge for us having such a large group this year. We had 26 members. If you're on the dance team, please stand up. Yeah. We had 26 members compete at state in 2 routines. We took a pom and hip hop routine this year and received Division I ratings in both, which was a great achievement. We also had 4 girls compete in the state solo competition. Avery Smith and Danica Leuenberger competed as freshmen, and Bailey Hansen and Caitlin Smith as juniors. All of the girls' routines were crowd pleasers, and Caitlin Smith received a Division I rating. To start off the second semester of dance, we had 2 girls audition and make it to All Iowa. Isabella Milosevic and Caitlin Smith, please stand. They earned the opportunity to dance alongside other girls chosen across Iowa during the halftime of the state basketball tournament. They spent an entire day learning routines to perform and be filmed for a halftime show. All Iowa chooses the best of the best across Iowa from all sizes of schools, and is a big accomplishment to be chosen for. After All Iowa, we also performed at some basketball games and started preparing for our spring show. These girls worked so hard getting up early for 6 a.m. practices 3 days a week. They choreographed and learned 5 new dances to get ready for the show. They also choreographed and taught 4 dances to kindergarten through 5th graders for our dance camp, to include some mini dancers in the show. Our spring show was on May 1st, and the team finally got to showcase all of their hard work. I am so incredibly proud of how the team handled the many challenges we faced this year. There were some tough mornings, but they kept showing up and getting the job done. I can't wait to see what the future holds for this team and all the achievements that they will earn. Tara Anderson will speak next for the flags.
I'm Tara Anderson. I've been doing the flag team here at Woodward Granger. This is my 3rd year. So first of all, we do fall flags with the marching band. Many of you probably see us at the football games during halftime and pregame, and also parades, although we didn't have that this year. We have in previous years. This year, the people that were involved in fall flags, if you're here, go ahead and stand up, was Maggie Halferty, Ashton Dawes, Maddie Mann, Mary Woodard, Avery Smith, and Danica Leuenberger. one of the really neat things this fall was we had 3 sets of new flags. So hopefully during pregame you saw some new green and yellow flags with a WG on it, and at halftime some pink ones and red ones. One of the reasons that we exist is to showcase and kind of bring actual motion to the music that's being played. So hopefully you saw those. We're kind of lucky in the COVID sense, if that's a thing, that you can be lucky, is that we are using 6-foot poles. So we don't stand that close to each other ever. If you're standing that close, you're in trouble anyway. So in a lot of those respects, we didn't have to change a lot of things besides wearing our masks and those type of guidelines. But we're used to being really spaced out with each other. After our fall, we do a winter season where we perform usually at some basketball games. We had some restrictions there, so we ended up mostly doing a video and then performing at the Fine Arts Night on March 1st. We had some different students, as we always do during our winter show. I'm going to name those if you guys would like to stand. Some of you get to stand again. Maggie Halferty, Ashton Dawes, Maddie Mann, Nikki Halferty, Shayla McMains, Taylor Noah, Avery Smith, Caitlin Smith, and Karsten Wright. Our winter team, we did a medley from Kung Fu Panda, and we used a lot of different equipment. Besides our regular flags, we used poles, like Kung Fu would use a staff, so we kind of mixed some semi-martial arts artistically in with the music. We also used some swing poles with some soloists during that song. I want to say a special thank you to our seniors. Shayla McMahon, for our winter season, this is the first time she's participated in flags, so it was neat to see her try something new at the end of her senior year. And Ashton and Maggie, those two have been just so helpful for me. For the first year that I got here, they were the ones that made sure that I knew how to do the school song, because you don't come in and change the school song right away, what they're doing. They made sure I was doing that right. They were always there to help me out with things. And they were really great leaders. If I wasn't there for a reason, I knew I didn't need to worry because they'd already have stuff started and ready to go. So a big thank you to Ashton and to Maggie. Other than that, we've actually had a great season, and I appreciate all of those students that have participated, and I'm looking forward to another great year next year. So thank you.
So Miss Soman is gone today, so she asked me to speak for her, and I've got this little write-up that she has for me to say. Whatever words are, I don't know. The vocal music department has celebrated another successful year of concerts, competitions, both in person and virtual. In October, 16 students auditioned for the Iowa All-State Choir, but unfortunately, the festival itself was canceled due to the pandemic. After the winter concert, both choirs began preparing for vocal jazz choir and competing in the IHSMA's state competition, where they received an excellent rating. The next competition to follow was the solo and ensemble contest. This year, we were able to take 10 entries, where 3 received superior rating and 7 received excellent ratings. The final competition of the year was IHSMA's large group competition. Of the 3 choirs that participated, the bass clef choir received a superior rating, and the mixed choir and treble clef choirs received an excellent rating. The show choir was unfortunately able to attend any competitions this year due to the festivals being canceled. Rehearsals began in October and continued through March. This ensemble was able to perform their set in the middle school to the middle school student body and at the modern music concert that happened in March. While this year is coming to a close, we will be starting auditions for next year and have selected Apocalypse as next year's theme. This will feature songs such as Radioactive, Get Out Alive, Feet Don't Fail Me Now, Rescue, Zombie Jamboree, and Ain't It Fun. We hope to see you during our next year's competitions.
Thanks, Chris. I was going to introduce myself, but yes, I'm Mindy Buck, for those that don't know me. I am lucky enough to be the drama director, and I don't know if it's lucky for the kids that I've decided not to resign the last 2 years, so sorry. I don't think I'm doing it this year either. I think I already signed my contract for next year. Anyway, you're graduating. Why do you? Oh, Nikki. Okay. Those Halfertys all look alike. After a while, I don't know who they are. Anyway, the season, it was interesting because sadly, like Mr. Eichhorn had mentioned, we weren't able to do a pretty big show that we had lined up in the spring. So we lost a lot of money. And so coming into the show this year, kind of had to decide, how can we do a show that is entertaining? We can do social distancing, we can wear masks except for performing that night. Practices, I can separate the kids. Oh, and also it can't cost a lot of money because I had to really be cheap this year. And luckily, there were a couple scripts that I had, and so for our fall performance, we did Almost Maine. And it ended up being, I think, probably one of my most favorite performances we had done. And it was beautifully designed by the students as far as the set, and the kids were fantastic at it. Another wonderful thing that happened, and I thank the school board and Mr. Eichhorn for this, but I finally got a paid assistant director this year after doing this for 16, 17 years. So Haley Kavanaugh, who is our assistant director, and she's fantastic. For Almost Maine, we had 2 performances, and this was during the time we were only allowed to have 2 spectators, so a lot of you remember that during the fall, 2 spectators for each performance. For an audience of 25 people, because we had 12 actors, and then I would have an administrator here, that audience was fantastic. We had 25 people here to cheer on our kids both nights, as well as having it videotaped for those at home. I had 12 cast members, and for those that are here, if you wouldn't mind standing up. Yeah, Taylor. A few of them are here, and then 4 of them, my seniors. Only 3 of my seniors are here, but Olivia, Chris, and Maggie were my seniors, and I appreciate everything from them. You can sit down, because you're going to stand back up in a minute. Then we moved on to the spring play, and the same thing applied. We didn't know audience members. We didn't know if we were going to be able to do intermission or whatnot. And so once again, I tried to find a play that practices. I could just have a couple kids in at a time so we could socially distance on the stage en masse. So the night of the show, we could get people together and a little bit closer. So we chose Check Please, which is just an assortment of bad dates, funny scripts, scenes about bad dates. And we gained a few more people, plus I have a sound and lights crew again this year, and that is, I don't think Claire and Jack, are they here? No, Claire and Jack, I managed to get them to run sound and lights. Thank goodness, they're a little bit better than I am up there. And they were fantastic. We had the same 4 seniors that were involved. Yeah, they like getting attention, obviously, because, Chris slacking off with only 9 activities in a school year. Seriously? Whatever. And then 16 total. So the same people will probably, and then Avery, you were one of our new actors. So thank you guys for that. This time we were able to have an unlimited audience. That was exciting. We still decided, though, to practice some social distancing. But we had the pods full as well as this. And I think one of the most exciting, almost back to normal, I almost hate saying that as much as I say COVID and masks this year, but Grandwood came back. And that's a tradition here that a lot of people don't know, is the Grandwood school, every spring, they bring their kids over to watch our spring play during the day. And we get to have an additional dress rehearsal, but our kids get to perform in front of the Grandwood kids, and it is, I think, one of the best things that we do, and they get so excited. And so this year, they were able to bring over their older kids that could sit with a mask, because we still required masks. But I remember at the beginning talking to the group of Grandwood students, and as we were kind of explaining what was going to happen in that, one boy, and kids, I think you remember this, one boy raised up his hand, and I said yes, and he was sitting about where Caitlin was, and he just looked at me, he said, I know I'm going to love this show. And I said, I hope you did. And then at the end, I was up in the sound booth, and as he walked by, he looked up, and I said, well, did you enjoy it? And he said, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 5. And I went, there we go. We just got our seal of approval. The kids were excited, and our kids. And so I'm so thrilled we were able to have that again. And so, and one other thing with Check Please, the author, the playwright got a hold of us. He found out we were doing the show. First time ever that a screenwriter has gotten a hold of me. And so I kind of communicated with him and sent him some pictures, and that was pretty awesome this year. So it looked a little different on the stage, but we got to do the show. The kids were fantastic. Audience was wonderful. And I'm looking forward to the fall. So thanks so much, guys.
Good evening, and thank you all for being here tonight to support activities at Woodward Granger. My name is Maggie Halferty, and I'm a senior member of the bands. It has been an exciting year full of challenges, losses, and victories, but we overcame and had fun. We were able to have 3 concerts throughout the year and invite our families to come and enjoy the music. The winter concert in December, the activities concert in February, and last night we honored our seniors and performed our spring concert. Jazz Band embarked on a limited season, but we had 2 ensembles, the Jazz Grapes and the Jazz Raisins, with the Raisins being the older of the 2 groups. We received another superior rating at State Jazz Festival in Norwalk, and we had a very successful Jim Coffin. We celebrated our 20th festival amidst the pandemic. Many of the festivals this year were canceled, and the groups traveled to a new festival, the Indian Hills Jazz Festival. It was a huge success, with WG receiving both first and second place in Class 2A. All of our soloists received judges' recognition, and it was really nice to be able to get out on the road. Solo Ensemble was April 10th, and we had a very successful day with 32 superior Division I ratings and 26 excellent Division II ratings. Shayla McMains, Star Clausen, Gavin August, Caitlin Smith, and Olivia Suss received special recognition from our judges. We finished the year at the Iowa High School Music Association State Large Group Festival, where we received our 3rd consecutive superior rating in concert band. So on behalf of Mr. Willer and the bands, thank you to our community, administration, and Mr. Eichhorn for all the support, and go Hawks.
Hi, I'm Virginia Polich, and I'm here for volleyball. In our conference this year, our record was 8-4 losses. When you add our Saturday tournaments, where we play bigger schools, such as Des Moines Roosevelt and Ames High School, we ended up with a 12-15 record, minus that big tournament that we canceled here at WG. This year we had 2 girls with honorable mentions for all conference, which would have been Faith and Brayton Ashman. We had Darby Nixon, which I think I saw her here. She got 2nd team all conference for both her sophomore and her junior year here. Natalie Weaver received 2nd team all conference her junior and senior year, and she also got all districts this year. Ellen received 1st team all conference and all district, both her junior and her senior year, and she also is signed for Grandview in the fall. We'll be losing 5 seniors this year, but our program is growing. I just had a meeting last week, and we have over 30 girls signed up for next year. That's about 10 more girls than we had this year. So that's exciting.
All right, my name's Troy Burt, sorry, one of the assistant football coaches here. This past fall, we went 6-3, and we did have some all-district players. If you are here, please stand. Honorable mention, Hunter Hurd, Jack Musburger, and John McKeever. All right, we'll go first team running back, Cade Polish. Please stand. Wide receiver, Christian Huseman. Please stand. Offensive lineman, Alex Evans. First team defense, linebacker, Trevor Simmons. Defensive back, Worth Henry. Moving on to our second team, all-district players, running back Jake Lago. Offensive line, Chris Kimmer. And offensive lineman, Trey Leto. Second team defense, Garrett Burkhart, defensive line. Outside linebacker, Dane Polish. And second team defensive back, Dylan McCulley. We did have one academic all-state player, and that was Trey Leto. Yeah, nice job. Again, seniors, thank you for your time and your dedication to the Woodward Granger football program. It is greatly appreciated. We look forward to the 2021 football season. Go Hawks.
Hi everyone, my name is Gwen Martin and I am the football and basketball cheer coach here at Woodward Granger. We didn't get to do this last year, so first I would like to draw some celebratory attention back to last basketball season. Thanks to 3 of our wrestling cheerleaders for joining us, basketball cheerleaders, at the state tournament for the boys basketball game. It was a really exciting experience to get to cheer at the Well. The day after our game at the Well, everything closed for COVID, so that made it even more meaningful to everyone, I think. I am going to talk about football and basketball combined up here today. 2020 and 2021 was kind of a year of camps for cheer, just like for all of these other activities that have been discussed. At first, we were told, you can't practice and you can't have camp. Then, when it was decided that we could have a cheer season, we were told, you can't yell or stunt, and we're not sure if you'll be allowed to jump. So do you want us to stand in our uniforms, or I'm not sure. Eventually, it was decided that we could yell if we were wearing masks, and we could jump with the masks on, and we could even stunt eventually into the season, but there were limits to what we could do, and we had to choose permanent stunt groups without any preparation or trial and error with different groups working together. They had to be chosen before they got into their stunt groups, and we had to stick with it, whether people got injured, whether people moved, anything. You were stuck with your group that was chosen at the beginning. So that was an interesting and hopefully a once-in-a-lifetime challenge. We decided through all of those mitigation strategies to just focus on what we could do. The girls did an awesome job of taking it all in stride and making the best of the seasons. Thanks to some incredible parents, we were able to attend away games for football and a postseason game for basketball. Thanks to our football team and girls and boys basketball teams for giving us fun games to cheer at. I would also like to highlight Shayla McMains and Maggie Halferty. You can go ahead and stand up again, Mags. For being chosen to the performing squad of the Iowa Cheer Honor Squad. Unfortunately, COVID took that opportunity away as well a few days ahead of time, but we're so glad that we could announce that honor at a home basketball game, and we were overwhelmed by the community support of those 2 girls, so congratulations, ladies. I want to thank my mom, who has been an incredible volunteer assistant for, I don't know, lots of years. I couldn't do this without her, so thank you. Also thanks to, oh, okay, go ahead. Also thanks to our administration, especially Matt Eichhorn, for your support and guidance in coordinating through all of the guidelines from all of the different associations to keep us safe and cheering. To our seniors, senior cheerleaders, would you like to stand up? Please know that we will always be cheering for you no matter how far or close to WG you end up. I'd like to end by asking all of my football and basketball cheerleaders to stand. We got to cheer! We got to cheer!
All right, my name is Dave Smeltzer. This is our 5th year having cross country here at WG. In the past, we actually shared with Madrid. Our first year, we had 6 middle school athletes and 12 high school. This past season, we had 14 middle school and 23 high school. So our numbers are growing, which is great, fantastic. Our season didn't start off the best because we got hit with the derecho, and we always host the first meet of the year at Jester Park. We didn't get to have that this year, so that we lost that meet this year. We had a couple really top 10 finishes. The first meet out over at Madrid. If you're here, if you'd please stand up. Libby Grell got 6th, and Karsten Wright got 8th. COVID kind of got us too at the end of the season, including myself and my assistant coach. We both got quarantined or both ended up coming down with COVID, so we didn't get to finish the season with the team. Matt Eichhorn and Coach Bush had to step up to finish our state qualifier meet. We didn't get a chance to coach the kids at that time. I'm going to name off our roster of our high school students. If you're here, if you want to please stand up. Caitlin Smith, Avery Smith, Reese Graham, Madison Mann, Jaden Smeltzer, Joel Harney, Lucas Hansen, Mackenzie Dresbeck, Kanan Fusen, Libby Grell, Parker Griffin, Karsten Wright, Dylan Limoges, Healy Hill, Sydney and Katie Grell. Now, these 2 girls I've had since I believe the first year we had it in 2016, which will be seniors next year. Hopefully by then, I'll be able to tell them apart. Landon Bogardus, Sterling Parkinson, Xavier Ibarra, Kurt Kraus, Elijah Bell, Marissa Trees, and Mason Dorenkamp. Hopefully that's everybody. If you give those guys a lot. As being a cross-country coach, cross-country, the runners, you gotta like to run. It's a gut check for sure, and I think I've pretty much heard every excuse you can imagine over the past 5 years. But excited for the future. I know we got some great middle school athletes coming up in the next couple of years. Our numbers are only going to get better. That's all I got for cross country. All right, I'm not going anywhere. Sorry. I'll make this one a little quicker. I'm the head wrestling coach here at Woodward Granger. Next year will be my 10th year as head coach. I've been coaching here since 2009, wrestling. This season, our team finished 19-4 in duels. Dennis Field Invitational, we placed first, I think, for the 4th year in a row. Conference tournament, we placed second. Winter Sit duels, we won our pool, got first. I-35 tournament, we took second. Perry Invitational, we took 10th. ACGC Invitational, we took second. We took sectionals, got second at sectionals, which actually would have qualified us for regional duels. But with COVID this year, they cut the numbers of teams that could actually compete in the state duels this year, so we kind of didn't get the best in that one. Placed 5th in districts. This year we had 4 conference champions. Peyton Nixon at 113, Dustin Harney at 152, John McKeever at 170, and Devin Brown at 195. Runner-up in conference was Cade Polish at 182 pounds. And honorable mentions, we had Alex Saxton at 106, Reese Graham at 120, Jackson Potter at 160, and Alex Evans at heavyweight. Those all placed third at conference. Going into sectionals, we took 7 guys to districts, which is honestly a fantastic number. We had 106, Alex Saxton. If you're here, you can stand up. 113, Peyton Nixon. 132, Reese Graham. 160, Dustin Harney. 170, John McKeever. 195, Devin Brown. And our big guy, Alex Evans, at heavyweight. We had 5 state qualifiers. Charity Mickles at 120 qualified for the second year in a row for the girls' state tournament. I think she came up 1 match short from bringing home a medal again. A little bit on Charity. She's the only girl we have in the room with 28 other, teammates, athletes, boys, and she's right in there in the grind with all of them. So that takes a lot of guts. So. For our boys, we had Peyton Nixon at 113, Reese Graham at 132, 160, Dustin Harney, and then John McKeever qualified at 170. That was our 4 state qualifiers this year. I would like to have Cade Polish, if he's here, I hope, stand up. He's in the back. I know he wrestled all 182 all season. He was weighing about 179, 180. He's probably about 210 now, I think. He's been bragging about how much weight he's put on. But Cade Polish got his 100th career win this year, so that's a big accomplishment. So. Excited for the future. We got a lot of good freshmen coming in next year, and see what we can do. Hopefully bring medals home from the state tournament. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Brandy Milasevich, and I am the wrestling cheer coach. I would have to say that I would think that wrestling cheerleading was probably the most affected this year, one of the most affected as far as being able to participate. We were able to go to 4 wrestling meets. It was pretty disappointing, but my girls rose above it, and I think they did a really nice job trying to support the way they could. I know that Isabella and I went down to state. She wore her cheer uniform and she sat in those bleachers, in those stands, and she cheered as loud as she could for all those boys down at state, just like she normally would. So I was really proud of her for doing that. And she also got a academic letter for her grades for the first semester, so that was a really big deal. So good job for that. I had 5 girls this year. I had Isabella, Abby Pomeran, Olivia Clark was her first year out this year. She had to learn all those cheers and didn't get to do them for very long, but she did a fabulous job. Bella Polly and Kara Cross. Yep, so we stand if you're here. We supported as well as we could. We tuned in every time they were live. We would sit in our living rooms and we cheered the boys on, yelling just like we would at the actual meets. And we just couldn't be prouder of them, and I couldn't be prouder of my girls, and look forward to hopefully having a great season next year.
Hi, I'm Gary Dressbeck, the girls basketball coach. I'd like to start by thanking all the other coaches before me that have come into undertime so that I can use all their extra minutes, right, Mr. Eichhorn? Okay. I thought that's how it worked.
Mindy did not come in
I've got to say, though, I've got to call out Mr. Eichhorn. He was a little bit of a chicken this year. 2 years ago, he put me towards the end, and he said he wouldn't do that again. So I don't have quite as much material as I might have otherwise. Yeah, this is true. Dave, I got one question. You said you've been the head coach for 10 years, since 2009. As the math teacher here, I'm a little confused. So if somebody can help him out here. I don't know if anybody else caught that, but I just had to mention that. I couldn't let that go, Dave, sorry. Girls basketball. Great group of kids. We went 5-16 overall, 4-11 in the conference. I'm going to read their names off here, but 6 of the 13 I had this year were new to the program, so that kind of made it a rebuilding season, just with roughly half the squad being new to us. But I'm thankful for them in no uncertain terms. They're great kids. They worked hard. I'll start freshman and work my way up like I typically do. Freshmen, McKenna Carroll, Libby Grell, Cadence Clucky, Allie McCord, and Georgia Simmons. Sophomores, Lily Smith, Grace Deputy, and Jenna Achenbach. Juniors, Darby Nixon, Ryan Jamison, and Mackenzie Dressback. And 2 wonderful seniors that are 2 of the greatest girls you can be around, Ava Peterson and Faith Keel. As far as individual accomplishments, I'd start with Darby Nixon. Darby was named honorable mention all conference this season. She was 9th in the conference in steals overall, 8th in three-pointers made. Her 29 made threes this season were a school record for a season, and she's on pace to easily break the career mark as long as something else doesn't break before the end of next season. Right? Grace Deputy was named second team all-conference. She led the conference in offensive rebounding, 2nd in blocks, and 3rd in total rebounds. And in Class 2 across the state, she was 7th overall in blocks and 26th in total rebounds. And currently is on pace in the next 2 years, if things keep going right, to break the career record for blocks at Woodward Granger. Had a meeting not too long ago with 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, and I'm encouraged by the kids that we'll see coming up. I think they can do nothing but bolster our program, but I'm also encouraged with the kids we've got returning. We've got some good kids that work hard, and not just in girls basketball. I look out here and I see a bunch of good people sitting out here. I want to say kudos to all the athletes and their families. This was a tough season for all of us, by far my toughest in 28 years of doing things in this business. And I congratulate all of you for helping your kids get through this. Hopefully we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, but y'all did a wonderful job, and we appreciate the hard work that you all put in. I'll close with this for Mr. Eichhorn. I don't know about any other coaches in the room, but what I heard from him earlier was he doesn't have enough to do, and we don't complain enough. So just keep that in mind. Mr. Achenbach with boys basketball is next.
Mr. Dressback's been pretty hard on Mr. Eichhorn, but I want to thank him a bunch because I can't tell you how many times we wanted to add some JV games or add some varsity games, and he had to deal with some ADs. I think we never met the guy, but there were some interesting conversations back and forth trying to put our schedule together. So I appreciate everything you're doing, Mr. Eichhorn, despite what Mr. Dressback says. We had 28 players on our basketball team this year. If you guys are here, please stand up and be recognized. Of those 28 players, we had 6 seniors: Walker Deputy, Dylan Backey, Kobe Peters, Worth Henry, Trevor Simmons, and Dan Hamill. Appreciate those guys and all the effort they've put in the last 4 years. Our 9-10 this year struggled a little bit coming up, and they played tough, they played hard. They ended up with an 0-11 record, but I think they improved a lot from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. The JV team battled to a 3-12 record, and our varsity ended up 9-14. They ended up the season, I think, we lost in a second-round district game to a good PCM team, but before that they had a kind of nice little 4-game winning streak that started with a win at home against a very good ACGC team. Is Trevor Simmons here? Hit 2 big free throws with 1 second left to get that thing started, and then they had 3 wins in a row before PCM knocked us off. The team ended up 8th in conference play with a 5-10 record. Because of that, we had some players that were able to earn some all-conference honors. Honorable mention ended up going to sophomore Brody Nardini, who was our team leader in rebounding. Honorable mention also went to Worth Henry, who led our team in scoring with 9.6 points per game. And then second team honors went to Dylan Backey, who led the conference and the team in steals and assists, 4.7 assists and 3.5 steals a game. From the beginning of the year to the end of the year, I thought we showed a lot of improvement. I'm very proud of this group, and I think we look forward to getting better as the years go on. So thank you very much, guys.
I'm Jen McDaniel. I'm the high school speech coach. This is my 7th year as the speech coach here. Like everybody else, our season was a little tough. We had to learn how to perform in masks, and they all loved it. But they put on a tough face. They did it anyway. We performed every performance in masks in front of small audiences, sometimes watching through windows. And they just had a good attitude the whole time and always keep me on my toes. This year we had 25 students. 13 of those were freshmen, and we had 8 sophomores, 2 juniors, and our 2 seniors were Maggie Halferty and Olivia Suss. If you were in speech, please go ahead and stand up. For large group this year, we only had 6 events. I chose not to let them cross groups because I didn't want to take out 2 groups instead of 1 if somebody came down with COVID or got quarantined, and so our number for a large group was smaller, but they were all great. 2 of those groups went on to state, and 1 of them qualified for All-State. Isabel Coffin, Ethan Jones, Dylan Major, and Taylor Noah all qualified for All-State in their group improv. Say, Taylor, you can stand up. And then for individual, we had 20 events this year. 15 of those events qualified for state. 14 of those 15 events that went to state earned Division I ratings, and that's the best that we've done since I've been the coach, and that was fantastic. And then we had 2 events that went on to earn All-State honors, Lily Smith and Kylie Bransfield. Unfortunately, All-Staters didn't get to go actually do All-State this year, but they did awesome, and we're very proud of them. Lastly, our team is very young this year, and I'm excited to see the growth that they do under new direction next year, and I know you guys are going to be awesome, and I will always be supporting you whether I'm at Woodward Granger or not.
All right. My name is Kella Clemenson, and I am the Student Council sponsor. So this was my first year running Student Council, so not only was it a little bit different for me, but we definitely tried to navigate the best we could while keeping the traditions that we have. The first thing we participated in was homecoming. We were still able to have a pep assembly. We had the parade for our homecoming court, and were able to decorate the building for school spirit. Later in the year, we were able to host a blood drive. So they changed things up a little bit differently. They brought in a blood mobile. Sounds a little bit morbid, but it was just a giant RV. So that was pretty cool. We were able to have 21 people donate, which is up from last year. So I was really surprised by that. 11 first-time donors. We saved 69 lives were saved or sustained. So we're hoping to have 2 blood drives next year, not only to help the impact with the blood loss this year, but to provide scholarships for our students. Student Council has also done a great job advocating for their peers this year. This includes starting Staff of the Month and bringing concerns to the school board regarding food service and other concerns. We had 13 students in student council this year. I want to give a shout out to the student body president, Faith Keel, the vice president, Emily Truitt, and our lovely secretary, Isabella Milosevic. We have about 25 applicants for student council this year, so hopefully next year we can come out strong. Thank you.
I am not Nicole Gent. Miss Gent couldn't be here tonight, so she sent me some highlights that I would like to read. So this year we had 148 middle school kids included involved with FFA. State contest in Des Moines, Green Hand Quiz, bronze to Taylor Noah and Brock Tiernan. Farm Business Management, bronze to Trey Leto, Kobe Peters, Logan Schleeman, and Walker Deputy. Chapter display, bronze medal. Delegates, Alex Evans and Bailey Hansen. The upcoming county fair and state fairs are on as normal this year, so that's exciting. Boone County, there were 4 students that exhibited 27 pigs. Dallas County, 6 students exhibiting 20 pigs, 3 students exhibiting 6 calves, and 2 students with chickens. At the state fair, there'll be 5 students exhibiting 37 pigs. The community garden is coming along well with support from Myrna Mayfield Grant, Tractor Supply, and Ray Mailer and Dr. Adams. We have added fruit trees, fencing, and 12 raised garden beds.
Good evening, I'm David Combs, the boys and girls golf coach here. I first want to say thank you to Mr. Eichhorn, Coach Burt, and all the players and families that have been supportive of the program this year, as well as just recognizing all of you guys as students for all of your activities and what you guys have done throughout the year. It's been pretty impressive to watch and a joy to be a part of the program. So very proud to be up here and be able to say our season is still going on, which is pretty cool to say. As far as a spring sport and kind of entering into the summer season. So a lot of really good successes this year. We had 14 boys out, 13 girls at the high school level, and also 7 middle school players as well, which was awesome to see as far as the growth of the program and what they wanted to do in terms of learning the game and getting better each day. I want to recognize the seniors and their dedication through the 4 years that they've done as far as their growth as individuals, as players, and as young people as they enter the world beyond of high school. So that was pretty cool to see. Some recognition I want to put out there for you is that on the boys' side, Kobe Peters finished in a second team all-conference finish, which was pretty awesome for him. And he also was individually recognized in terms of his finish. He gets to play in the district meet this Thursday out at Lincoln Valley and State Center. So excited to have him go perform and have a great opportunity to move on to the state tournament. So looking forward to that for Kobe. So I'll give him a round of applause. I also want to recognize Trey Leto. Trey was a great senior of mine and someone that really worked hard in improving his game, and he was able to finish with a medalist honor for the first time in his career this year up in a Don Williams event with Ogden. And then also shot his career low in our sectional meet. So very proud of you, Trey. Good work, buddy. On the girls' side, I had a lot of new participants this year, which was great as far as being able to introduce them to the game and grow that. And they did an awesome job learning it and working hard in terms of getting better each and every time they went out there. And the girls were really competitive. We had a great finish out at Lake Panorama and won a girls' invite out there, which was pretty an awesome experience in the sense of the competition, what they did there. And that only kind of built them toward the end of the year where we could recognize both Ava Peterson and Emma Griner's second team all-conference. So congratulations to those ladies as well. And then also, just individually, I also want to recognize Emily Truitt. Emily technically lost to her teammate Emma in a cardback for second team all-conference, but she was also recognized as academic all-state. So I was very proud of Emily for that accomplishment as well. And best but not least, the girls played yesterday over at Lake Panorama in our girls regional, and they finished second, which allows them to move on as a team to our regional final meet next Monday over in Neola, and looking forward to an opportunity for them to also as a team go to state, which is a pretty special thing to be able to do in a sport that sometimes is seen individually, but as those kids know, it's all about the team for us, and I'm very proud of what they were able to do and accomplish in a very tough golf course, and looking forward to a great opportunity next Monday over there. So good work by the ladies there. So looking forward to, again, continuing our season, and hopefully you see some really positive news come out in the next week about our program in terms of the boys and girls, and looking forward to the future. So thank you.
Hey there, everyone. My name is Andrew Hopper. I am the head boys and girls track coach here at Woodward Granger. For those of you who don't know who I am, when I started this season, I was just excited to have a season. When our season got canceled last year because of COVID, I was really frustrated and really wanting to see what we could do. And unfortunately, COVID canceled that last year. And so this year, when I found out we were able to have a season, I went to Matt and I said, Matt, help. What do we need to do? And he was really gracious and very helpful in helping me get things going and helping me get things started. And then with brand new coaching staff, four brand new coaches to the program, was a really big learning curve for us as coaches this year, but also for the students that didn't get a season last year or are brand new to the program this year as well. So we had 16 girls out, so if you guys would please stand real quick, if you were out for the girls track. And our girls this year, we had some really great competition in our conference and in our districts. We ended up getting second at Ogden and third in Boone, which was pretty phenomenal for them to be able to do that and come in. We just missed out on the Ogden by just a few points in first place there. So it was a great season for them with that. We have two seniors, Molly Frost and Olivia Suss. So I want to say thank you to those seniors. Thank you for everything that you've given me for the last 4 years and been around and provided the leadership that you have there. We were lucky enough at the state meet to have one state qualifier, and that's Miley Lyo. Miley qualified in the 100 and 200 meter dash, which as a freshman is a pretty huge accomplishment. So that's very impressive for her, and we look forward to seeing her run on Thursday, and hopefully again on Saturday if she makes the finals. On the boys' side, we had 24 boys out. We had three, so if you guys want to go ahead and stand, please. And so we had some pretty tough competition in both our district and our conference this year. In fact, on the boys' side, I think maybe our placings didn't always reflect where we were competitively and where we were in our times, and I thought we did really well there in terms of our competition. We had three seniors, Worth Henry, Christian Huseman, and Kanan Fusen, so if you guys would please stand. I want to thank you guys for the leadership that you provided for our team and for our other members, and thank you again for all the work that you've put in. On the district meet, we were able to have our 4x200 meters boys qualify for state. That would be Worth Henry, Christian Huseman, Dylan McCauley, and Dylan Bird, along with... And then Dane Polich would be an alternate for that as well, so for those guys. So we look forward to seeing them run on Friday, hopefully placing well there at the state meet on Friday. On the guys' side, we did have some top five finishes throughout our season, including third in Boone and third in Ogden. And so we are doing pretty well and have a really excited to see where the future holds for us at Woodward Granger Boys Track. We had some injuries this year. We're kind of fighting through those and fought through those, and we persevered really well. and I'm looking forward to seeing what our future holds in the next few years as coach. Thank you very much.
I'm going to talk briefly about the 2020 baseball season, and then Coach Long is going to kind of talk a little bit about his outlook on the 2021. So the 2020 baseball season was definitely one for the books. We were the first state to bring fans back. So that was pretty cool to be able to do that last summer. It was definitely a special season that ended in the district championship game. The boys finished 18-5-1. There were 7 all-district players. First team was Reese Jamison, Alex Bice, Bryce Achenbach, and Colby Tagg. Second team, we had Caden Easter, Brandon Worley, and Worth Henry. We had 3 of them were then chosen to the 2A All-State team. First team was Reese Jamison, All-State, and second team was Alex Bice and Bryce Achenbach. So looking forward, Coach Long is going to kind of just say a few words here.
Last Saturday, we had our parent meeting, and just before we were supposed to have a scrimmage that got rained out. And I told the parents at that time that they have a lot of really neat, great kids on our team. And after listening to these other coaches talk today, it sounds like we got a lot of great kids here at Woodward Granger High School. So I feel like it's a really great place for me to be and to coach. We actually started practices the first Monday after spring break. So we've been going for about 7 weeks already. We had our pitchers working out and catchers twice a week. We started at 6:45 in the morning. And when you practice at 6:45 in the morning, you find out who wants to play baseball and who doesn't want to play baseball. We had anywhere from 13 kids to, I think the most we had at one time was 22 kids there. And so I thought that was outstanding. That's better than, I've had some good teams in the past, and we had a better turnout for our pitchers and catchers than what I've had in the past. We started the first practice, real practice, on May 3rd. Worst practice I've ever been associated with. Not because of the kids, it was because of us, the coaches. We have stations that we hit from on the cage, and the first problem that we had is half the batting cage fell down. And so I had my one assistant, who is my son, Mick, and he's about 6'1", and weighs about 230. He's up on a ladder trying to get the batting cage put back together. And it was, by the time we got that put up, then the next thing that happened was 2 of the 3 pitching machines quit working. So we finally finished with our hitting, and then we went to hit infield and outfield. The first ground ball that I hit it, and it went about 10 feet and stopped because the grass was about 6 inches tall in the infield. So at the end of the practice, I brought the kids together, and I told them, I said, I really apologize for today. I said, I felt so disorganized. I've never felt that way. I'm really organized, and I expect practices to go at a real good, brisk rate. And it sure didn't that day. And I guaranteed them that from that point on, it would be organized. And since that point, they have been organized. The kids work extremely hard. I'm really happy about it. I have people that ask me how good this team is, and the only thing I can compare it to is some of the teams I've had in the past, and I tell them that they're as talented as any team that I've had in the past. We have kids that have great arms, they're fast, they're good hitters, and they love baseball. Every night I have 3 or 4 kids want to stay after and take extra hitting, and when you have that kind of dedication, you're going to have a good team, and I think that's what will happen to us this year. These kids work extremely hard. We start our season next Tuesday. We play Panorama at Panorama. First home game will be Wednesday against Webster City. So hopefully all of you will show up and help support us. Also support the girls softball team. These kids give a lot of things up in the summertime to be able to play sports, so we need to be in the stands and support them. Thank you.
gonna not talk in front of that. I am Jess Oros. I am the head softball coach. Last year we went 6-14. I had a total of about 20 girls come and play for us. So if you're here, go ahead, stand up. Come on, let's go. So, like kind of Matt had gone into, we were the first sport that got to kind of be the guinea pigs for COVID and how sports will go. And I think the girls handled it very, very well. There was a curveball every other day, and they handled it with stride, and they just made it work. They were energetic, they were hyped up, they just wanted to be out there and play the game. I think they saw what it was like to lose some seasons, and they were just grateful to be out there and play with their teammates. We are definitely a growing program. It's been nice to see more numbers, more kids have kids who haven't played in a few years come and join us and play, so that's been really great to see. And even this year, something really great that we've got going is a middle school program, so that'll help us kind of build that foundation so that we have a stronger varsity team as well. But last year, like I said, the girls did great. They handled COVID with stride. We made it out with not having to quarantine anybody, so I think that's a huge win. We didn't have to have any COVID scares, so I think that's a huge part of celebration. But something that I was really excited to see last year was just the community involvement. Getting everybody to show up and seeing all of the field packed all around us and having them support the girls was something really great, especially after we kind of didn't have our program in a great place in the past few years. So to have that community support and people backing up the girls, and that was just a really great thing to see. I expect to continue to see growth, have more numbers come, and the girls are really enjoying it. We just came from practice, so I apologize, I'm not dressed to fit, but we are, we're working hard and we're doing a great job, so great job.
So in typical head coach fashion, my first year head coach, I made a mistake. I forgot Dylan Bird in the long jump, qualified for state as well. And then Logan Roll is a senior that should have been recognized as well, so I apologize. But congratulations to those guys.
I said an hour 15, so we're about spot on. So I just got a few thank yous to get through here. Thank you all again for attending tonight. This is the third one. This is by far the most attended. Appreciate you coming out. This is really cool to see, and hopefully it continues to grow. First person I want to thank is Kathy Walton. Thank you for always being available, willing to help, and take so much off my plate. The one thing that you truly do better than me is think about things that I don't, and which is a lot. And you make sure that we're set, so I appreciate everything you do. You make my life a lot easier, I'll tell you that. Second is Beth Griffin. Beth is always willing to help and ask what she could do, and I appreciate that, most of the time to the chagrin of Mr. Boley. But truthfully, thank you, Beth, for everything you do. Next is the Woodward Granger Booster Club. And thank you for all you do for activities. Thank you for the donations, your hard work, the scholarships you give out each year. I truly appreciate it. If you'd like to join the Booster Club, please see Jody Jameson or Beth Griffin on that. All of the administrators and directors in our district, Rob Boley, Jake Moline, Matt Bruman, Becca Moss, Dave Smeltzer, Cody Churchill, and Matt Adams. Thank you for being great to work with, helping supervise, and having Hawk Pride all year. To all of our custodians, Virginia Polish, Kibby Kavanaugh, Gordy Laird, Brad McMullen, Rick Sloss, and Daniel Sanchez. Thank you for always making the building look presentable and great, and for all the little things you do, they do not go unnoticed. And finally, my wife. Every year, I can't do it, but we'll forge through. Thank you for being you, the amazingly kind, loving, and gorgeous woman you are. That doesn't help. Just so you know. In the words of Jake Owen, you were made to steal my heart, and I was made for you. In 11 years of marriage, we've accomplished so much. I continue to fall in love with you every day, and thank God that we found each other. I still got a few lines here, so. You gave me the best gifts I could ever receive, and our two wonderful children. You, Emery and Easton, are my entire world. Thank you for understanding, not always happy about, but understand what this job is and the things I need to do to make sure I do it the right way. From the crazy hours, late nights, weekends, phone calls, texts, all hours, to just to name a few. As I tell you all the time, you're my favorite. And I'm so honored that I get to call you my wife. I love you. One of these years I'll get through that, but thank you. That's all I have. It was a great night. I always enjoy this night, listening to all of everybody speak about our wonderful kids, because that's what they are. And go Hawks.